Tottenham 0, Man City 2. Welcome into Top of the Perch. I'm your host, as always, Nick Burt. Now, this would be a moment, usually, when it would be, oh no, Tottenham lost again. So awful. This team's falling apart. Second half of the season, especially these past few months. Now, all of this could be true. But when you ruin your rival's season by losing, so good. This game it felt amazing. I know there's been a lot of debate this past week, especially these past 48 hours rolling up into this game. Because our Champions League hopes were still alive. They very much were. Aston Villa drew last night. We were only 5 points behind going into today. So if you win today, you're 2 points behind. You're playing 20th place Sheffield on Sunday. Villa, who is in fourth, is playing on the road at Palace. Palace, one of the most informed teams right now. I don't think anybody really wants to play them. And it felt like your Champions League hopes were still alive. On the other hand, if you win, you basically hand Woolwich the title, because all they'd have to do is win against Everton, I believe, and whatever. City would have had a lot more to do if they would have lost today. Well, this is how the game played out. Tottenham, they showed up in the first half, and they played like a prime, like Real Madrid or Barcelona from the mid-2010s. This team just, they looked decent. And of course, the thought process was, of course, this is a game. They're going to show up. They're going to somehow win this game 1-0, and it's just, it's going to be what it's going to be. Second half, we had a few stinker of performances today. We'll get to that in a while. But Holland puts City up 1-0 in the 51st minute, so 6 minutes out of halftime. They go up 1-0. It generally felt like a little bit of a relief that Tottenham finally went down in this game, because the longer and longer it went on, it felt like, oh, this might be a 0-0 game, and that's not the exact result that we need. Poro, just dumb foul, but he's fully Spurs. In the 89th minute, sends Holland to the spot right at the edge of stoppage time, I should say. City make it 2-0. It's game over from there. City most likely going to win the league on Sunday, which, yes. Does it get tiring a little bit? Yes. But when you know the alternative option, you're going to take the boring of Man City winning it again every day of the week. Like I said at the top, ruining Woolwich's season, their best their greatest season. They're going to end up with the same amount of trophies as us. So, you can say whatever you want, that, losers focus on winning and winners focus on winning. What have you won? Arteta spent $700 million in the transfer window. He has a COVID FA Cup to show for it and a charity shield. Outstanding, guys. Just outstanding. That's a real winner right there. It is just, you could say whatever you want. I don't care. I think our whole fan base has heard it all. Trophy list, Tin Pot Club, always little brother, always this, always that. Hey, maybe don't draw and park the bus at the Etihad against the team you're going up for the title for. maybe actually show some little bit of football play in that game. And who knows, maybe we're in a different situation. What can I say? You should focus on winning. Take your own advice. Focus on winning. But did you do that? No. And I saw it. I saw it all. Oh, we'll never make fun of Spurs again if they pull this out for us. No, that was never happening. You guys deluded yourself into believing that, and you really thought for a minute we would do that. You are a special kind of special, as I like to say. I honestly didn't take a ton from this performance. I know Postecoglou kind of went off in the post game, talking about how over the last 48 hours, this has revealed a lot about the club to him, blah, blah, blah. I think he's more getting at ownership and probably some of the players than he is the fans. I think that would be quite odd for him to be turning on the fans that have supported him literally all year. I think that would be kind of odd to turn on them just because they don't want their biggest rival winning the league. I mean, come on. This isn't Celtic where you're going to play your rival 6 times a year like they do up in Scotland with Rangers. You don't play Arsenal 6 times a year. You play them twice, 1 home, 1 away. And the rest is up to fate, basically. Tottenham, they did what they had to do today. Now, on the downside of that, yes, Tottenham have lost out on Champions League qualification for the 2nd straight year. Aston Villa finished 4th place. Tottenham most likely going to finish 5th. I'm assuming they're going to win on Sunday, especially against this Sheffield United team, who is historically one of the worst teams in Premier League history. The first Premier League team in history to concede 100 goals in a season. Not great. They most likely will be finishing 5th. They will most likely be going I think there is a very, very outside shot that they don't end in the Europa League. They are going to the Europa League, 99.8% chance probably. It would require both Newcastle and Chelsea, I think, picking up the full 6 points in their last 2 games and Tottenham losing on Sunday. And I think there's a big goal differential in there too. Tottenham's going to the Europa League. And I mean, I can get into this more at the end of the season thing. I think that's the best move for this club right now. This club isn't ready for the Champions League. Not next year. Especially if you're going to have as many transfers out as it sounds like you're trying to have, you're not gonna compete in the Champions League. I think the Europa League is better set up for Tottenham. You got a lot of young talent. You got a lot of something in some players and a lot of nothing in other players. But obviously, the competition in the Europa League a little bit lower. Honestly, the past few years, it does feel like the Europa League's gotten a little bit more prestigious, especially with the introduction of the Conference League, kind of taking some of those worst clubs out of the Europa League. It feels like the Europa League it's taken a step up in quality. I don't think it's, what it was just a few years ago. And I'm excited. I'm assuming that because I don't really know how this draw is going for the new, Swiss League model, whatever you want to call it. I know there's no drop downs from the Champions League, so whoever's in the Europa League's locked into the Europa League. I'm not gonna put Tottenham up there as they're the favorites to win it, because they do that every year and then they lose to Bodo Glimt or Fenerbahce or Genk. That's just Vitesse, who I know they're getting relegated in the Netherlands, but still, all names of Tottenham past, basically. Listen, like I said, I didn't take much from this game. This was more of a job done type situation than me taking away something. It's 2 games left in the season. The last game's on Sunday. Nothing really to take away. The stats, like I said, Tottenham kind of played really well in this game. Overall, as a team, the players individually not so great. But, Tottenham controlled the possession. They had the more shots. They equaled on shots on target, which that's got to be something. Expected goals, that penalty kind of throws it off, but Tottenham at 1.66 compared to 2.4 for Man City. Passing, Tottenham got the dominating portion of those in this game. They still had the more fouls in this game. At least it was equal on yellow cards this time. On the more corners in this game for Tottenham, it felt like if Man City got more, they may have been more dangerous because our set-piece defending has been atrocious this year, as we've known. So, yeah, let's get into the player ratings because it is what it is. As you can see, the formation switched up a little. Went to a 4-3-1-2-ish. That's what I'm putting it down as. And FootMob agreed with me on that because that's kind of what it looked like out there. I don't know if that's what Postecoglou was running, but that's what it looked like to me. So Son and Johnson were both up top. Both didn't have amazing games. Son, God bless Son. He had a basically breakaway opportunity in the 81st minute. This was after Ederson had gone off injured and they put in Stefan Ortega in goal. Son shot it straight into his hand. So God bless you, Son, because you knew the plot and you are fully Spurs and that's why you are our captain. Johnson, he was probably the best of the two. Honestly, it wasn't a great performance from either of them today, but it felt like this team gelled more today. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't really take away a ton from this game, but one of the things I did take away is Bentancur is... It's rough. It's rough watching Bentancur. He earned a 5.6 today. He is by far the lowest scoring player on this team for me. Just after that injury, he hasn't been the same since, and it really does suck to see that because he was such a amazing talent for us pre-injury, but since that injury, just it looks like he doesn't like fully trust his leg, or maybe it's just maybe just the mobility he had isn't there anymore. That is a real possibility, and it's going to absolutely suck if that's true because he was poised. He was poised to have a breakout season, I thought, under Postecoglou, but he didn't. The whole back line today, we've been asking for this back line kind of since Udogie went out. And, of course, Postecoglou gave it to us today when we wanted to lose. With Van de Ven at that left back position, putting Dragusin up in the center backs with Romero, and then, of course, Porro on the outside. I thought it was pretty decent from them today. Romero earns a 7.5. Like I said, he's kind of just been the best player out there for us these past few weeks. And I greatly appreciate that. I think he's a big part of our future. And hopefully Postecoglou sees that also. I would expect him to, but I honestly don't know. Vicario earns a 7.3 in net. I thought he had a pretty good performance today. I know he conceded a goal and he conceded a penalty, but there's not much you can do. Kulusevski was the only sub that came on prior to the 80th minute. He earns a 6.1 today. Oliver Skip, Giovanni Lo Celso come in the 85th. And Mickey Moore, the 16-year-old born in 2007, he gets his first appearance with the first team in stoppage time. So a big congrats to him. I'm really excited to see him develop into an outstanding player. From what seems to be the word on the street in the academy is he is the best player we have in the academy, and he is going to be a very good player for us in the future. So I am excited about that hope for the future. Hopefully, Europa League play, we maybe see a little bit more of him. I believe he's a homegrown player too, so that kind of helps. Postecoglou earns a 7. I think he handled what was kind of expected today quite well. Like I said, this team came out playing really well today. It's Man City. That's it. So, Tottenham lose. I'm not complaining. Woolwich season's over. They're finishing the same amount of trophies as us. So, one more to go. Sheffield United, Bramall Lane on Sunday, the final day of the season. We will be here to recap that, and then probably we'll do a whole season recap at some point soon. So thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across this video, click like, click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you again probably Sunday night for that recap of that Sheffield game. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon for another episode of Top of the Perch.